The Untamed finished airing in 2019. 7 years later it still has one of the most active fandoms in Asian television. Not nostalgia, not algorithm, not a sequel announcement. Just people discovering it, finishing it, and immediately telling someone else to watch it. I wanted to understand why. I went back and watched the whole thing again this year. I think I understand it now. The Untamed is a 50-episode Chinese historical fantasy based on a Danmei novel by Mo Xiang Tongxiu. It stars Xiao Zhan and Wang Yiba as two cultivators whose fates are linked across two timelines, a past that ended in tragedy and a present trying to unravel what happened. It was a massive hit in China in 2019. It has been growing internationally ever since. A lot of people come to The Untamed expecting standard fantasy television. What they find is a deeply emotional story about loyalty, betrayal, and what it means to stand by someone who the rest of the world has decided to condemn. The central relationship between Wei Wuxian and Lan Wangji is the engine of the entire story. Everything that happens, every political conspiracy and supernatural threat, exists in service of asking what two people owe each other when the cost of loyalty is everything. That is not the show people expect. It is the show they remember. Xiao Zhan plays Wei Wuxian as someone who chooses joy deliberately, as a defense and as a philosophy. There are scenes where you can see exactly how much it costs him. Wang Yiba plays Lan Wangji as someone who shows almost nothing and communicates everything through stillness and attention. The chemistry between them is not manufactured by the writing. The writing creates the framework and the two actors build something inside it that the writing alone could not produce. I do not know how to describe watching the scene where Lan Wangji plays the Guqin for someone who cannot hear it anymore except to say it is one of the most affecting moments in television I have ever watched, and it requires you to have watched 30 episodes first to understand why. People who love The Untamed talk about the same thing. The slow realization, somewhere in the middle of the series, that you have been watching something more serious than you thought you were watching. The early episodes have humor and adventure and the comfortable rhythms of historical fantasy. And then, gradually, they do not. The story reveals what it is actually about by the time you are invested enough to bear it. This is deliberate storytelling. It is trusting the audience to stay. Most audiences stay. The Untamed adapted a novel with explicit romantic content between two men. Chinese censorship rules meant that content had to be removed or coded. People often ask whether this ruins the show. It does not. What it created instead is a love story told entirely through subtext, through what is not said, through gesture and proximity and the way one character looks at another when no one else is paying attention. The subtext is so present that it functions as text. Viewers raised on that kind of storytelling, where official channels refuse to say what everyone watching can see, will recognize the technique immediately. It makes the story feel in some ways more emotionally true than if it had simply stated what it was. The Untamed still works because it is built on something that does not age. Loyalty costs something in this story. Choosing the person you love over the world's approval costs something. And the show does not flinch from showing you the cost. Wei Wuxian pays the cost. Lan Wangji pays the cost. And at the end of the story, when you have watched two people pay the full price of choosing each other, the ending feels like something you needed after 50 episodes of watching them try to survive. I understand why people keep finding it. I understand why they keep coming back. The Untamed is available on Netflix and Viki. It is 50 episodes and the pacing is worth it. If you have been waiting to start it or you have watched it before and you want to go back, this is your sign. Subscribe for more coverage of the Asian TV that stays with people long after it finishes.